Welcome back to Barlow's Boutique, everybody. I'm Frankie. How you guys doing today? I'm going to do something new today. I'm going to do a top 10 list of top 10 scenes from movies that scared me as a kid. I was born in 1973, so right when I was started to realize what stuff was, 5, 6, 7 years old, started watching all these fabulous movies from the 70s and 80s, early 80s, that scared the crap out of me as a kid. And I compiled a list, and I don't know how definitive it is, and it was really hard to number them from 10 to 1 because they all scared me as a kid. So, and I don't know, I don't know when you rate that stuff. I don't know how. I don't. What I'm trying to say is I don't want to take away from one scene because it's number 7, because it's probably just as scary as the one that's number 3. But as it is, that's just how these things work. Before I get started with the movie scenes, there's a scene that stuck to my head that I wanted to put in, but it wasn't from a movie. It's from everybody my age, one of their favorite TV shows, The Incredible Hulk. It was an episode where David Benson, where he runs into another guy that's afflicted with the Hulk. And that Hulk was scarier than shit. You know what I mean? Ugh. Anyway, let's get on with the list. Number 10. Dark Night of the Scarecrow. This movie's awesome. It's basically about a mentally challenged guy that has a best friend who's a little girl, and he tries to save her when she's attacked by a dog. And he grabs her away from the dog, but it's too late. She dies, and he takes her home, and some of the town folk think he did it. They chase him down and shoot him because he goes in the field and hides in the scarecrow, and then they find him, and then they just shoot him and kill him. Well, he comes back and takes revenge. The last scene scared the shit out of me because he has a farm implement coming after the postal worker, who's just a complete piece of shit. And he's running, and bam! He runs. He's not looking. He runs into the scarecrow, who's holding a pitchfork, and he impales himself, and it kind of points at him and dies. It scared the shit out of me as a kid. Love it. Number 9, Vampire Circus. This movie scared the shit out of me, and up to this point, mostly, this movie came out in 1972, so it hit Saturday Night Shocker out of Channel 11 in the early 80s, and I watched it one night on that, and it just, for some reason, it scared the shit out of me. The head vampire, the master vampire, was scarier than hell, and just the whole thing with the circus, and you have David Prowse, who played the physical form of Darth Vader in the Star Wars movies. He's the strong man of the circus. Anyway, the end scene's what really screwed me over, because they're fighting the vampires. The vampires are kicking all their asses, and they finally kill the main henchman of the vampire master. He's really badass, and then the master comes back to life just in time to be thwarted with a crossbow. Whew, scared the shit. It was so crazy as a kid. Number 8. Alligator, the 1980 classic with Robert Forster playing a cop, loses his partner in the sewers to a giant alligator. The scene that scared the crap out of me was, obviously, everybody knows who knows this movie, the pool scene where the kids are dressed up as pirates, and they walk the kid on the plank to throw him in, and the mom comes out, it's like, hey, you ready? And she flips on the pool lights, and the alligator's in there. The little kid sees it, but the other kids don't see it. They push him in. Ugh. Holy crap.
You haven't got any guns! I have 10 guns! Ha! Get up right now! So right now, walk the plank! Donald!
Jaws screwed me up as a kid because, like I said, I was born in '73. So my mom took me to see Jaws, which I really don't have a memory of that because that was in '74, 76 probably. So I was like 3 years old, and then I remember seeing Jaws 2 for two reasons. One, when the shark comes on and it kind of bent his mouth. Even when I was young, I was like, okay, that looked weird. But what's interesting is at some point on the way home, I guess Rihanna from Fleetwood Mac came on the radio, because for years in my brain, before I had a copy of Jaws 2 and had seen it again since that, I thought that song was in the movie, but it wasn't. It just must have been on the car ride home or something. I heard it somehow. I put them two together and they weren't really together. But anyway, when I hear that, I think of Jaws 2. Number 7. Phantasm. There's something about movies or even games now where the young person, the person your age when you're a kid, is sneaking around and knows stuff that adults don't know, and it's so treacherous for the character, and perfectly displayed in Phantasm. The kid goes to the cemetery, sees the tall man, and sees the dwarves, then sneaks in and sees a guy get the ball, and the whole thing. We're seeing stuff he's not supposed to see, and that whole feeling that brings on, wrong place, wrong time, not supposed to be there. You see something horrible. But the dream scene from Phantasm, when he wakes up and it kind of pans out, and the tall man's standing on the back of the bed, and they're in the graveyard, and then the two people come out of the graves on top of it, and that scared the shit out of me. And that's the first movie my father and I watched. When we moved out of one house into another house, and this was 1985, 84, 85. I can't remember at this point. And that's the first movie we watched. The first night we stayed there, and it scared the shit. I couldn't sleep because we had a long hallway now, and it reminded me of like him walking and seeing the tall man down the hallway. Totally freaked me out. I love that movie. Number 6. The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. Now this came out in 1973, the year I was born, and I caught it. This is one of these movies I think I caught when I was homesick from school, and it was on the 11 o'clock movie or something. It was just so random that I got to watch it back then, but it scared the piss out of me. Now, if you watch it now and you don't have that nostalgia, that makes movies that probably aren't the best in the world seem great to you because you saw it at the right time, at the right place, at the right age. This is one of those movies for me where the werewolf looks like a little dog. This is funny looking, but it's cool looking. But there's a scene where the werewolf goes to this camper this couple's in, and he starts shaking it, and he rolls it down the hill, right? They go down the hill, he chases it down the hill, and then takes one of their heads and puts it in a bowling bag, and takes it home and buries it in the basement of the cabin. Well, the son's upstairs, hears it, goes down, and sees his dad as a werewolf burying something, and he don't know what it is, and later he unburies it to find out it's a head.
Oh my God!
I side-eyed my dad forever, my stepdad forever. I was like, is he a werewolf? But that movie, it might be corny to some people, but it scared the shit out of me as a kid. Number 5, The Car. Okay, this movie came out in 1977, and it scared me and my brother loved it. It was on every once in a while, just like a lot of these movies were on every once in a while, maybe once a year. And it was like Wizard of Oz, an event. Oh, the car's on, we gotta watch The Car. The scene where Brolin's love interest, the teacher who sasses the car when they're in the graveyard, she goes to her house to get some stuff, and then she's gonna go stay with him. And she's on the phone with him, and she's so scared, and then the wind picks up, because when the car shows up, the wind picks up, and she's sitting there talking, looks up, and the car goes right through the house and runs her over.
Wade, it's me, baby. No, I'm home. Chaz went over to his place. He said he'd be back in a few minutes. Wade, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. Listen to me. As I was coming up to the house, that crazy wind came up. It almost blew me off my feet. Wade, I think I hear the engine of that damn car. Wade, it sounds so weird. Wait, I'm scared. No, I promise you I won't go out. Tell me what to do, baby.
It was like one of those things when you're a kid. It's like, okay, there's no place safe. You can't get away from the car because it's just like the Jaws thing. Oh, the shark's so scary. Stay on land. The car's scary. Stay off the road. Didn't work for her. And I thought she was kind of hot too. Number 4, we have Dracula, 1979. This is the second version of Dracula I probably saw. Saw all the Bela Lugosi stuff on Channel 8 as a kid from Irv Kopey. All your local friends will know what I'm talking about. It was, that's what made me a monster kid to begin with, watching all those black and white movies when I was a little kid in the mid-70s. Because back then we had 5 channels maybe, and Channel 8 came in good, and they had the movie night, which they always had a Abbott and Costello movie followed by a Universal monster or a classic black and white movie. And Frank Langella's Dracula was awesome. The mood was perfect, and in fact, how they handled the ship, the Demeter, it's always been in my brain since back in the 1981, 80, whenever I finally saw it came out in 79. We watched it on TV for the first time, and I don't know when it was on TV, or we might have, I don't know if we rented it, or I don't remember the circumstances of watching it. I'm sure it was on TV. The scene where Van Helsing, they set it up, Van Helsing's daughter gets killed by Dracula. She dies, which I think they flipped the names, actually. Mina and Lucy, their names are switched. And Lucy was supposed to be the friend, but Lucy ends up being the main character, or it's vice versa. I can't remember at this point. It's been a while since I watched it. But Van Helsing comes to see what happened to his daughter. He sees the signs, kind of knows what's up. They go to dig up his daughter, and there's a hole. They dig up the casket, open it, and there's a hole down in there. There's a cave underneath the graveyard. They go down there, and they run into her.
Cross. The cross.
Papa, kom met mij. We moeten samen rusten, papa. Kom, papa. Samen rusten,
Laat mij met rust.
Kom met mij, papa.
Laat mij.
Holy hell. Papa, Papa, that scared. It still scares the shit out of me. Such a good scene, such a great movie. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. Frank Langella kills it. The main love interest is a hottie boom body, and the effects are great. Everything's cool. It's just awesome. Number 3, the Amityville Horror. This son of a bitch of a movie scared me so bad, and that's the movies that really scare me. Is to this day, it's anything that has to do with the devil. Exorcist, Omen, Amityville Horror. I haven't even watched a lot of the Annabelles and all that shit, just because the devil shit and possession really messes with me. And a lot of possession movies are bland, or just they get in that trope where they turn possessed and they gotta cuss. You know what I mean? It's kind of silly. But the scene where they're downstairs, they have a couple friends over, and then they find out there's a red room hidden, and they open it up, and the woman looks in there and freaks out like it's the gateway to hell.
What is the matter with you?
Don't you understand?
What the hell are you doing to my house?
George, I'm sorry, I don't know what got
I'm
into
trying to tell him. That's where it is.
You all gone mad? George!
Find a well. Is the passage to hell?
Yeah, fuck. And that house I was talking about that we moved into, it had a full basement, unfinished full basement, and there was a cardboard room that was a coal room, for, I guess, a coal stove or whatever. And when we first went over to walk through the house, we went in there, and it's like, this is kind of creepy. And as we were walking out, I was the last one. My older brother was in front of me, Joey, and he said, it's the gateway to hell. And I ran out of there, and for years, I would run up the stairs and try to hit the light before I went upstairs to turn the lights off. So if anybody's ever dealt with that, yeah, that was real. I fell up those stairs so many times, it's not even funny. Number 2, The Exorcist. This is probably one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, but what really freaks me out to this day, and I have trouble with it, and I have her on my wall over there, and to this day, it still scares the shit out of me. It's the Pazuzu face, the Captain Howdy face, the Eileen Dietz face. The flashes terrify me. And I've seen that movie. We watched it with my brother, and we tried to laugh. The whole, like, it's kind of like, did you do that? Do it again. In time. We'd laugh at that, 'cause, like a nervous laughter, but we were scared to death. And those little flashes, they fuck me up more than anything. And it's the same thing with American Werewolf in London. The movie is not really scary per se. It's brutal, and it was scary. It did, like, I watched it at a friend's house, and when I got done watching it, it was dark, and I ran all the way home because I was kind of scared. But anyway, the Blue David dream face. Just that quick little flash scared the crap out of me. But the Pazuzu face, seeing it as a kid, and then when YouTube came about, I actually saw the trailer with all it was that flashing face. Nah, I can do without it. And when I met Eileen Dietz, she thought I was somebody that ordered her t-shirts. She goes, I got your money for your shirts. And I was like, what money for shirts? I don't know what you're talking about. And then she was acting weird. She goes, it was weird because the conversation was literally, hey, I got your money for the shirts. What? What shirts? I'm not that guy, whoever that is. Oh, okay. What, do you want a picture with the crucifix? It's like, no. Weird. And number 1, the scariest scene from my childhood has got to be from 1979's Salem's Lot. Little Ralphie Glick floating up into the window to suck the blood of his brother. Ugh, so terrifying, so iconic. Such a rad TV movie. It was just the best thing ever. Immediately loved that movie when I was a kid. In fact, when we were watching it, I got so scared I started crying, and my dad sent me to bed. And then I cried even harder and had a huge fit, and they let me come back in. And I think seeing Barlow get killed made it better. You know, I wasn't as worried about that, but I guess I didn't realize that, you know, the vampires were still chasing them, which is so awesome. And then Susan in her nightgown. Whew. Anyway, that scene. Ugh. So there you have it. There's 10 scenes from my childhood that scared the crap out of me as a kid. What scenes do you remember as a kid that scared you, that stay with you to this day? And that's 10. I'm sure I could do 10 more. That's just 10 that was off the top of my head. In fact, I switched it because I had forgotten about the alligator pool scene because I got so excited I was compiling this list, and I've never done this before and didn't know how to go about it actually, but I was just like, screw it, let's just do it. I hope you guys like it. Please like and subscribe. Please check out my other socials if you can, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll check you later.